He's Straw.
He's Parker.
Together we are
Crazy Bubblehammer.
Yes, we're going a little bit stir crazy because we've been filming quite a lot today. A little bit Ghibli. That's how crazy we're going. Oh God, I don't want to be. It's like a children's TV presenter. I'm wacky. I'm zany. Oh, something's going. Oh. I don't know what he's doing with that. I don't know what he's doing with it. Is it in front? Oh, hello. I'm Parker and he's Straw. Together I am. A skeleton. Anyway, today we're going to do another awesome unboxing. An unbelievable unboxing.
This is a ridiculously ridiculous unboxing.
Yes, and who do we have to thank for this unboxing?
We have the one, the only...
Sir Dave of Taylor. He's part of the Cool Mini. I think he's the head of the Cool Mini kind of community... community division kind of stuff. Essentially, he's a lovely bloke who we love because he is very kind and generous, and we heart him a great deal. We got some Dark Age stuff, thanks to Dave. We've been wanting to play Dark Age for a while now. It's been on our radar for probably 4 or 5 months now. A little bit here and there.
Yep.
Straw's managed to pick up some stuff. I haven't because we're not the. There's always other stuff to buy.
And we don't get paid.
We don't get paid,
Simple
so
as that.
money-wise, we're a bit tight. But thanks to Dave, he allowed us to have the chance to now play Dark Age because he sent me some stuff. Because he's lovely, and I can't thank you enough. I know I'm gushing, but I feel guilty. Right. So anyway, to begin with, Straw might have a little cry in a minute.
Fill it up. It's just the generosity
He's
of
filling
some
up with jism from my penis in his bum. I know.
The generosity of some people in this community is just
totally
ridiculous. We are completely overwhelmed with it. We really are. So
here we have the Dark Age core rulebook. It's the main rules. Just to have a little flick through. It's the
look,
rules.
you can still hear it.
Oh, you can still hear how new it is. So you've got all of your basic rules. You've got plenty of art. It's not full of fluff, but that's good. That's because it is the rules. Again, how to measure, how to move. Psychogenics, which are your kind of magical psychic power.
But it's not a very thick rulebook, is it?
No.
Which I like.
No, it's relatively simple to get your head around. I've seen it played a few times. I've played it a couple of times. It is relatively easy. The art's great because a lot of it's Brom, I believe, which is just awesome sauce. Got some nice pictures of minis because who doesn't want nice pictures of minis? You've got cards for all your psychic powers and your faction stuff, which is great. Big heathen monstrosity, awesome sauce. And then all of your objectives.
It's a rule book. You don't have to go into too much detail on a rule book. But however, more to the point is, we've got it.
Yeah. And
we
it's
can
hardback.
play it.
Hardback, full colour, glossy, it's high-end stuff.
And
then we've got the Outcasts book, which is the complete source book for the Outcasts, surprisingly enough. On the back we've got Straw's favoured. I think a lot of people are going down the route of the Saltflat Nomads. I know I would have if Straw hadn't. In fact, I was a little bit cheeky and was kind of bigging up all of the other factions.
didn't work though, did it?
It didn't work. I was kind of hoping he'd just kind of not see them, and then I'd go, oh, I really like the Saltflat Nomads, I'll get them. But, I know it's a bit cheeky of me to do, but I knew he'd pick them, and I wanted them. Because they're awesome. I mean, in the future, maybe I'll get them as a secondary or third or tertiary faction or whatever. I mean, I'm very happy with the faction I've got, don't get me wrong, but they're so cool. The minis, they're Fremen, kind of, essentially. But you don't just get those in this book, you also get the regular Outcasts. Plenty of fluff. This is much more of a fluff-based rulebook with stats for people, rather than it being a ruly rulebook. But you've got all the rules for all of the ways. What I quite like is you've got the generic Outcasts, and then you've got your Saltflat Nomads, which are a sub-faction, and they're awesome sauce. And then you've got the Slavers, who are another sub-faction, but you can also mix and match bits from each. So if you're playing generic, I think you can have models from nearly everything. if you're specific, you can still take some generic models. I mean, that doesn't look very nice, does it? The frenzied. He's covered in spikes.
He's bugged if he needs a scratch.
Well, yes. And then you've got bounty hunters, which are models that certain factions can take. I believe the Outcasts and the Forsaken can take them. And then you've got a whole load of fluff in the back. Everyone likes fluff and art and stuff. And I think right at the back there are some models. So you've got the extra special rules, which is stuff that they would have brought in for this book. With it again with some lovely art and some lovely gallery stuff. I have to say, I've looked at a lot of these online. Really doesn't do them justice. When you see a proper nice photograph of the models and the paint jobs, it really brings them to life. I'm loving Lucky. She's proper like an old school, what would you call it, a pin-up girl kind of thing, not in a pervy way. Again, you've got the sort of flat nomads. You've got some big old Viking dude, and who doesn't love that, right? Some lovely stuff. Mongo, big old Mongo. I mean, he's on like a 120mm base there. It's feckin' huge. Really looking forward to getting some games of this done. And then we have Devastation, dun dun dun, which is the they've slightly changed how they do faction books. Yeah, I think the Outcast is a newer faction book, which is done purely as an Outcast book. Devastation is one of their kind of story-based faction books, and that's got the Core and the Cult of Metamorphosis, which are the Scarred, which is my faction. Again, so you've got that new book sound and the new book smell. Oh, I love it. So again, you've got plenty of fluff, all about how the Scarred are facing off against the Core. Lovely art. I mean, the art's stunning. Proper really gets you in there and seeing what all their weird gribblies are all about. So you've got all the new stuff, slightly different scenarios. Good, different way of set, which is always good because it is a very scenario-based game. Oh, that's not nice. Big, scary. The Core, who are they're like an AI that are based on technology that they can take biomass and reduce it down and kind of use it to fuel themselves. So they're big and scary. Again, lovely full fluff and art for each individual unit, which we always like. And then we've got some more fluff. I think we've got so there's some more bounty hunters, or another bounty hunter. Now we've got my boys, the Cult of Metamorphosis. Now they believe in grafting. This guy, Father Johann, he was a saint, so he was one of the good guys, and he believes in grafting, so like removing parts, replacing them with metal, so cyberware essentially, for all intents and purposes. As you can see, he's got robot feet, big old spiky arms, bit of a cyborg face, weird grafted hands, and everyone else thinks he's evil, so he went off into the wastelands and made scary monstrosities like that, covered in spikes, which is nice. I love them. I think they're awesome. They've got some great cool stuff, so you can upgrade your cannibals to like be even more crazy. And they've got weird, freakish things like that. I mean, who doesn't want that? That's just horrid. And a big juggernaut. I mean, that's a human. That's the head size. So bear in mind, I think the model's about 128mm base, and they're these big heaving monstrosities. And they've got psychic powers. I mean, and they're evil, nasty wanderers. And again, you've got some more special abilities, some painted up models and bits like that. So cracking. I can't wait to sit down and just peruse and enjoy. So, we've got minis to do as well. Didn't even get that far. Still do. Got mini. I just wanted to show you everything. So, if we have a little zoom in.
Well, if you get some figures on the table, I will.
Well, I'll start with just some markers, just so you can get an idea of the markers. These are Warsenal counters, which are the official kind of partners of Dark Age. You've got the big. Oh, thanks. You've got the big. So you've got the big one, and a spray and a stream, which is a stream and a spray. Official Dark Age templates. Official Dark Age tokens. Very bright, you won't be able to miss them on the table. And again, you've got more things like that. Toxic, you've got Bleed, you've got Revenge, you've got all this kind of Wounded and stuff like that. Lots of, I'm not going to spill them all out. They're tokens, they're really nice. Warsong are the official ones, so if you want them, they're the ones you should see, so you know they're going to do the full set of them. What I'm going to move on to begin with is I'm going to do the Scarred. Now these are going to be my faction. They're the Cannibals of the Wasteland, very kind of nasty, eating people / Mad Maxy guys. Just to give you an idea, this guy's the Tribal Father. He's like your big head honcho of bad, like the leader of the starter box. Now you've got 1, 2, 3 of these guys with slings, and they are called bowlers. They're infiltrators, they can move on, they lob with their slings, people get entangled so they're easier to hit because they're prone. And that's when you send in the Buzzblades, who are your foot troops, if you like, sword and shield. Well, I say sword and shield, club and shield, going in, chomping on stuff and eating people. So we'll have a little open up of the box and see what's inside. Plenty of metal models. Ooh, that's a nice little touch. So the cards don't clash about. In the bottom of the box. So I'll have a quick look at the cards to begin with. So we've got the Tribal Father. He's got a special rule of command, so he can tell people what to do. Field order Scarred Furious Charge means that they get bonuses when they charge if they're near him. And he's got Psychogenics, so he can do psychic powers, which are cool. Then we've got the Bowlers, which I was telling you about before. They can lob slings, which have got a range of 10. You can entangle people up with those, which is nice. Then we've got your Buzzblades, which are like your troops, generally hard and nasty, but we've got something else for them coming later on. So here we go. You've got a big old bag of minis. So here we have the Tribal Master on his little rock stand thing. One piece, which I like, always good for one-piece models. Kind of doing a fancy stance there, which is quite nice. I like the detail on his cloak. I like his weirdy pose. He's kind of like worship me, kind of big all in charge. He's got a bit of a bondage fetish vibe as well, which is always nice. Just to give you a little example, little thing that I do like is the start again. You can really tell the difference between the Buzzblades, which are your kind of foot troops, and your bowlers. The Buzzblades are a lot larger and on 40mm bases, which for kind of foot troops, I'm really interested to see how that comes across on the table. I'm really interested to see how, just to give you an example, is a cool mini or not model for
Black Plague.
Black Plague, thank you, Zombicide Black Plague. So he's significantly larger, like, quite a bit bigger.
Blimey, yeah.
And that's like your generic foot troops. So they should be fairly meaty in hand-to-hand combat. So you've got 3 Buzzblades. Do those first.
I can safely say none of them are happy-looking chaps, are they?
They're not the most pleased. But then they're wasteland cannibals with fetish gear on. What I do like is you've got essentially a sprue with maces on, like clubs, and a sprue with shields on, and they're not specific to each one, so you can mix and match. So if you had 2 or 3 sets of these, they wouldn't all look exactly the same, which is a nice little touch. I like the musculature on them. I like the slightly fetishy nature of them. They've got all these little plug sockets on them and stuff, which look really cool because they're supposed to be all kind of grafted and worked on. Really nice. I like the shields. They're not just round shields, they're kind of shapely. One's got a big spike on it for hitting people with. So they're as much an offensive weapon as they are a defensive shield, which is nice. And they've all got clubs, which is, makes them all look similar but not the same. One of them's got like a robot hand, which is nice. Really like that. Kind of, it's only a 2-fingered kind of and a thumb robot claw thing, which is quite nice. Should be fun to paint. All the musculature and stuff, you've got them all in different stances. There we go. those, and again they're on these 40mm bases, so they look big and imposing on the table. And then we've got your bowlers, which you've got your little straps and your little bowlery things to throw and whatnot. They definitely look a little nimbler, a little thinner, but still with that kind of wasteland vibe. Lots of straps and leather bits and whatnot. Running around on the 40mm bases, they're a bit smaller. And they look like infiltrators. They look skinny and they're kind of running around.
Do you want to say running around again? Because I don't think people have quite got the
the
grasp.
They look very mobile.
They're thin and small and they run around
mobile, sneaky. I'm trying to think of other adjectives.
Do they run around?
They do, yes. You douche. So that's the starter box.
They run around.
So now we've got another box of Buzzblades.
There's not many bloody pictures of the actual figures in here, is there?
There's not as many in that one, no. So these are the more Buzzblades. So they're similar to the previous Buzzblades, but they are the second sculpts. Again, you've got your 40mm bases. See if we can get these out without spinning them all across the floor. Apparently not.
Apparently not.
So again, you've got your Buzzblade card, which was the same as the other one. Again, they're big, chunky. You know, they go on these 40mm bases.
There is a big difference in the sizes.
This one's got robot feet and some sort of robot-y visor. Similar sorts of shields, but obviously not the same, but a similar vibe with the kind of their slightly longer and thinner shields. And again, they've got clubs rather than swords. This guy's got robot feet as well, and some sort of cyber mask thing going on. She looks like she's got some sort of bondage corset in as she's leaping in to bash someone over the head. Woo! With kind of a club axe-y type thing. I don't think they're weapons. I think these are as they are. I don't believe they're changeable. No, they're not. These are they're one pose effectively, as opposed to the other ones which were not. You could mix and match the arms and legs, but they're a bit more active, a bit more kind of vibrant in their poses because they are single pose models. So here's a kind of a picture of them painted up so you can get more of an idea. So you've got one crouching down, one kind of going for a big over slam, and the other one's there. But again, very nice models. Oh, hello. Looking forward to having those all on the table as my big kind of main force of my 6 Buzzblades.
As they then get splattered.
Well, we shall see. In fact, we will move on to a reason why they might not get splattered. First of all, now here we have a grafter. Now, a grafter. Oh, that's interesting. Got 2. Ah, that's interesting. I'll tell you why in a second. Oh, lovely, one-piece model. Who doesn't like a nice one-piece model? Boom. There you go. Lovely. He's sewing up his own arm, or she is. It is. It is sewing up its own arm. Covered in KP type things. And here we go. Big power claw. I like that kind of juxtaposition of the big power claw and the daintily, because she's kind of sewing it up daintily like that, which is really nice. And you can see the flesh and the metal kind of put into one, and the big long cape. Again, a little bit fetishy, which is nice. Which is kind of very old school Mad Max, kind of the second film. What I was going to say that I do like is you've got 2 cards here. One is for the Scarred, and the other one is the follower of Saint Johann, because essentially Father Johann was Saint Johann previously, and then he went bad and did lots of bad stuff. So you could play an older army, which would be Saint Johann before he went evil, or before they kicked him out. And you can use a Forsaken army. It's like a Forsaken army with the addition of some Cult Metamorphosis units, or you can go full Scarred. So I think that's a nice little touch. It's a good way of you know, let's say you had a full Scarred army and you didn't know what to do next. Well, you could then just go, right, I'll pick up a couple of Forsaken units and use that aspect of that army, which I think is a nice little touch. Now, special abilities, I'm only going to be looking at the Scarred one for this purpose. You can crush things, so if you hit once, you basically keep doing damage because you're just squeezing and squeezing. Now, but the interesting thing is you can hang in there, boys. If people are reduced to 0 hit points, they're going to die in counter. They can't do anything, but you can heal them. So they won't die, you can heal people back up. I mean, you can only do it once, I think, per model. But that's really cool, so they'll be less likely to die. So it's essentially like a medic-y type dude, which is cool. So that will hopefully stop my Buzzblades from getting horribly murdered. Hooray! Who doesn't like stuff like that? And another reason that my Buzzblades might not be getting murdered is a Sister of Charity. Wow, we've got a lot of card. Aha! This is why. So, we'll just have a quick scan of the cards. We've got the basic Sister of Charity who works with the Scarred, sorry. Now, she's got a special ability called My Pretty Boys. Now, she can upgrade Buzzblades.
Oh!
They cost the same amount of points, but effectively you're paying for her to get the upgrade. You can choose Charity's Might or Charity's Zeal, her being Sister of Charity. So rather than being your normal Buzzblades, you will gain either Furious Charge or you will gain Elusive. Now they've got ever so slightly different stats. If we just have a quick look at a Buzzblade. There we go. So there's your original Buzzblade. They've got the same action points, so they can all do 3 actions. Now your basic Buzzblade's got a defense of 5, so have these. But these ones have got a defense of 4. Now lower defense is actually better in this, so they're harder to hit. Now your base armour's 14. Now the Zeal have got the same. Now the Charity's Might have got higher armour, so they will take less damage. These have got a move of 3, these have got a move of 4. So it's a slight upgrade either way. So these are going to be your more kind of hand-to-hand combat-y ones. These are going to be your nimble, getting out of combat, kind of moving around the board, potentially doing objective ones. So it's a really nice way of having the same army, but with a slightly different layout. So I could go, right, combat, 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 or maybe I want to do more objectives and get around the board. They've also got elusive, so they're harder to hit at range. So, you know, it gives you options. And anything that gives you options in a game is good in my book.
I'd be painting her up like Harlequin.
Yeah, yeah.
It screams for it, doesn't it?
And again, you've got the 2 cards, as I've said, you've got the Scarred and the Forsaken version of the same model, which is nice. So we like that. And again, a lovely one-piece model. Boom! You can't go wrong with a one-piece model.
Well, you can, it's broken.
She's on a big base.
She's on a big old base, isn't she?
Yeah. Yeah, she could be quite happily Harley Quinn, couldn't she? In kind of a twisted world. She's got a buzzsaw for a hand. And big titties. And again, that kind of fetish vibe. Like it. Nice. Looking forward to that. And then lastly for the Scarred, but by no means leastly for the Scarred. Actually no, I'm even gonna hold back on this last one because I really want to. I'm gonna do the cards first. I'm not going to show you all of the cards, but it's
cross for that! Oi!
It's essentially a set of cards for everything that the Scarred can have. A full set of faction cards. So you've got again the Tribal Father, all of the special heroes. So essentially you could proxy stuff in.
Alright, that's handy.
You can, you know, it helps you to write army lists, gives you options to see things in the future. You've got these top ones are going to be your generic ones. The Warheads, the Bowlers, Buzzblades, stuff we've seen before. The next set are going to be your Cult of Blood, which are scary and unpleasant. Then you've got the Cult of Toxicity. And then lastly, you've got my personal favourite, the Cult of Metamorphosis. So you've got big beasties like the Juggernaut and the Nightmare Juggernaut. Who doesn't want that? Then you've got the Forsaken. As I was saying before, you've got the various Forsaken ones that can go with those. So the Forsaken variants of those. And then you've got all your psychokinetic powers, which are handy to have, so you can just do magic spells without having to think about it. And that's those. Awesome sauce. Absolute awesome sauce. Pleased as punch. I don't know how many cards there are in total. A lot. I'm going to say 60, 70 cards. Looks like I'm going to have to buy some more card sleeves. And then, finally, we have Father Johann, who is the big, bad, awesome king of the Scard, the ultimate hero guy. 200 points worth of killer awesome. There he is, with his big robot legs. He's got these big kind of mantis claw things that come from out of his back. There's some great detail on there. He's all kind of partly cybernetic. Goes together nicely actually, the arm fits well. And he's there ready to kill people. Now bear in mind those bud blades were 25 points each. Father Johann's 200 points and he needs 2 cards. Those aren't 2 separate cards, that's 1 2-card model, because that's how many things he can do. Because he's hard as freaking nails. I think he's got armour 20, which is the highest you can have. Defence 3, 4 action points, 5 wounds. He's freaking big old beastie of awesome sauce. Yeah, he needs a whole extra card for all of his special abilities. So I'm looking forward to getting him in. And that's it for the Scard. I say that's it, I mean, that's it as if, like, oh that's it, I mean, that's oh. Oh, better make sure I better get all of his extra bits and pieces on. I'll lose all them. Really looking forward to seeing these guys on the tabletop. I've got a feeling they're going to be meaty, lots of hand-to-hand combat and chompiness. Father Johann's hard as nails. The buzz blades will be tooled up, and they won't be. Hopefully, won't be going down immediately, thanks to being all. What's the word I'm thinking of?
Fixable.
Fixable, indeed, fixable. That's a good word.
That's a good word. Fixable.
And I'm already thinking of ways to expand on that. There's a few little bits and pieces that I already can think I want, and obviously the big monstrosities. So, oh crikey.
Nearly done.
Nearly done. So we'll start with the cards. This is the Outcast stuff. So again, it's the whole deck of Outcast cards. Oh. So you've got these are the bounty hunters, I believe.
Yeah.
So they can work for, if I remember rightly, I can't remember. I believe they can work for the Forsaken or the Outcast. I don't believe they can work for anyone else. I could be wrong. I'd love it if they could work for the Scard, but I can also see how the Scard would eat them first.
Yeah, and no bounty hunter would want to work.
I love Lucy. Really want that model. I think it's a great picture. Lucky, sorry. There's the man, Bendarin Dursh. You'll see a bit more of him in a minute. Love these. The artwork for these is nice and subtle.
I like that oath. She's got water bottles on her. Lots of different water bottles, and the staff is a tap.
The Oath Borer, yeah. And she gives bonuses and stuff to people around her. Lots of cool stuff there. That's all your what you call them, Salt Flat Nomads. Then you've got the
Slavers. They look cool as well. Yeah. I didn't see them. I'm like, oh my god, they're awesome.
And again, you can mix and match between those. That's the Tyrant. He's like another big guy. He needs 2 cards because he's awesome sauce. And then you've got the generic Mongo. I think what size base is he on? 50mm base. I thought it was on a bigger one than that. We'll see. And then you kind of your generic. I say generic. There's nothing generic about them, but they're kind of your more generic Outcasts. So that's those. So I guess we'll begin with the Tribal Warriors. There's the art, all the photographed models, lovely models. I'm slightly concerned with putting them together. I mean, I don't have to, fortunately. I think they might be a little tricky to put together, just because they're so nice. You know, they're fine. I mean, the detail on those is stunning. I love the puffy legs. I say puffy legs, you know, the puffy trousers. You know, the way they're baggy up down to the knee. They look very Fremeny, which is not a bad thing by any stretch of the imagination. They look really cool. I like that kind of mixture of, again, you can see slightly better on the picture. I like the mixture of kind of Arabic vibe with that kind of ever so slightly futuristic knee pads
Tuscan
and stuff
Raider-y
like that.
kind of colours.
Yeah. You know, masks and goggles because they're out in the wastelands all day. Awesome. And card-wise, they seem to be very, I don't want to say average, but kind of multi-purpose. They've got ranged attacks, they've got combat attacks. Scavenging is quite a big thing that they do for the outcasts. If you die, they can scavenge your body and then they'll get bonuses later on in the game. Next we have the Thornwinds.
That's shooting type pigment.
Yeah, they've got blowpipes and they can do poison, I believe. And they infiltrate as well, so they'll start off further on the board, which is quite cool. They do bleed rather than poison, I apologise. They infiltrate on the board the same as the bowlers do, so it's nice to have those things that will be further on. And they're both one-piece models, oh my god. It's not that I'm in love with one-piece models, I just think when they're done well, they're really nice. I mean, they don't look... Yes, obviously, if you were to look at them directly like that, you can tell they're one-piece models. But they're still very vibrant, they're still very individual, they're not giving it the whole, you know, sword and board like you used to get with a lot of the old models that were just kind of weird, like mimes almost. These look active and different. I love their sweeping. They've got these kind of shoulder cloaks that are being drifted by the wind. Love that. Really look like they're out in the kind of, because they're infiltrators as well, so it makes sense they're forward in that kind of area where shit's going down and the wind's buffeting them, you know, and they're trying to scout ahead. Even the poses, you know, pointing and kind of guarding your eyes, it makes them look like scouts. You know, it's little things like that that really make a big difference. And when you kind of sit there and think and you go, oh, actually, yeah, that really works, you realise how much work goes in and where the work goes. Then we've got Kane, who's the bodyguard of Bendarin Dursh. Not that he needs one, because he's feckin' hard as nails. He's a big guy. Surprisingly on a 30mm base, I imagined him to be on 40 because he's quite large. He's feckin' huge. Given how big the other models were, yeah, he's quite a big fella. Only 3 pieces, which is nice. One arm, another arm and a head. That's pretty cool. I like his big kind of neck piece, kind of to make him look even more big and imposing. Interesting contrast towards the rest of the...
He's armoured, isn't he?
Yeah, he's armoured to fudge. He's got an armour of 20, which is about as big as it gets, even on the big beasties, and 3 wounds. He's not going down quick.
Well, that's good.
And he does crits on 2s instead of 1s, and he decapitates things, so when he does crits he does extra damage.
Shame.
And he has a guard Bendarin Dursh as well, so he does extra hits for that. So he's a big, scary, chompy looking guy.
Chompy.
And again, I like that model. He's proper like, yeah, I'm hard as nails, big armoured guy. It's interesting when you see that they do contrasts within factions, I think. You know, he's the exception to the rule, if you like, that all of the tribal guys are all Fremen.
Whereas he's just a big bugger.
And then lastly, but by no means leastly, by the opposite, I don't know what the opposite of leastly is, we have Bendarin Dursh, who is, for all intents and purposes, Muad'Dib. He's super hard. He is the leader of the Siltflat Nomads, or specifically the Durst tribe. I love all the detail on that model. You can see in the picture, you know, the goggles at his neck, the hood going round. He's got that kind of sword hid behind him, just resting his hand on those little knives. Love it, love it, love it.
A bit hard, is he?
He's hard as nails. He's got various different. He's got critical strike of 3, so he crits on 3s instead of 1s.
3s?
He's got a defense of 2, which is ridiculous. I think that's one of the lowest in the game. Blade Lord and all these various things. You discard a vengeance counter, you perform a melee attack. Fueled by combat, when he kills an enemy, he can potentially heal. Furious Charge, parry, he's got loads of stuff. And he's only a 2-piece model. Again, lovely. So essentially you've got his sword in his hand, which is kind of behind him. Oh, I'm looking at the camera, that's why it looks the wrong way around. And I kind of like that it's held at his side, but he's facing the other way, so you don't kind of overtly see it. It's kind of almost, it's not quite hidden, but it's, you know, it's just out of the way a little bit, you know, from the front. He looks very unassuming from the back because of his cloak.
Which is what you want.
Which is what you want, but plenty of detail on the front. I like, there's lots of kind of fraying around the edges of his cloak because he's kind of a wasteland wanderer type guy. Yeah, lovely model. And that's me a bit, I'm getting a bit of a sore throat, I've been chatting so long now. Hello, here I am. So that's the Dark Age stuff. Totally blown away, really am. It's all great stuff, really looking forward to getting it on the table. Really interested to see, because my faction, the Scarred, look like they're going to be more of a go in, hit stuff, kill stuff kind of thing, and Straw seems to be, you know, they seem to be the trixier ones. But is that how it'll work? It's nice to have the options with the charity's sister of charity, that she can then switch, you know, them either to be combat organised, so they're harder to hit and tougher in combat, or you can go where they're slightly quicker, so maybe I'll go that way, so I'm more likely to get the objective points. Who knows? I can already see how they're going to expand in my head, which is nice, because I think it's all very well getting an army, but it's knowing how you can feel it. Love the fact that we've got the books, because then it's that kind of fluff that you really want, that is the thing that pushes you over the edge into a game. It's all very well having nice minis, it's all very well having a good system, but if you don't feel engaged with the world, you're never going to play it. There are plenty of games I've seen which have got lovely models. I'm not going to name names because there's too many to think of, but lovely models, great system, and I'm just gone meh. You know, nothing grabs me. But Dark Age, I love that it's like 200 years ago when everyone just fucked off and left and to get on with it. You know, I love the idea of that, and that little things as well, like they introduced the Kukulkani, which are the Aztec aliens, and then you're kind of thinking, well, why would they land there? And it turns out that the core are kind of reverse engineered from their technology, and that's why the Kukulkani have landed, seen it as an abomination, and they're now trying to kill everything on the planet. So you know, really, they've gone to a lot of trouble to come up with decent fluff, decent composition on the minis, you know, rather than just being, oh, isn't it shiny, like a lot of the new GW stuff. It's very nicely sculpted, but there's no heart in it. You know, there's no... It's kind of like they've just gone, let's throw... Alright, it's going to be a bird. Right, let's throw all of the bird feathers at it. You know, like the new Sylvaneth.
The Wood Elves.
They look nice, but there's no... Oh, let's throw more tree bits and make them look a bit weird. There's no kind of heart. There's no understanding why it's all there. It just is there. Whereas I think when you look at these models, you can tell why they've been done a certain way. Like I was saying about the Thornwind, you know, they look like infiltrators because they are, and you can tell that by looking at them. It's little things like that that really add so much. You know, the grafter. I loved the balance between the fact that she's daintily sewing up her own arm, you know, and it's got this big nasty claw on it. I love stuff like that. It really grabs you rather than it just being, it's a big monster,
it'll kill you and win me the game.
Yeah, so all in all, chuffed to bits. Really looking forward to painting stuff up. Like Straw says, she's Sister of Charity as Harley, quite possibly. Wasn't going to, probably will now. You git. But no, love it, love it, love it, love it. Can't be, you know, overwhelmed with gratitude. Really am.
Yeah.
And they're lovely models and a lovely game, and I really can't. I mean, we've played it a few times. I've seen it played a lot. If you want to watch some Dark Age stuff that isn't us, then there's something wrong with you. However, I think some of the best Dark Age battle reports I've seen so far are Guerrilla Miniature Games. Go and check them out. Ash, who used to be with Mini Wargaming, is a Canadian guy. Really concise, gets you in there. Bam, bam, bam. This is what's going on. Completely different to what we do, so I'm not going to feel bad about telling you about him. But if you want to find out how Dark Age plays, that's a good place to start. We will obviously be doing battle reports ASAP, so we can get all this shit together. I'm exhausted just sitting here talking to you, so I don't know how long it'll take. But yeah, we will have Dark Age stuff up as soon as, because it's a game we've like I say, it's been on our radar.
We've been wanting to play it, and now we've been given the chance to.
Yeah.
So
thank you.
You know,
you're a fucking hero. I'm going to go away and give my voice a little rest, because I've been talking all day. I can proper feel it. But I hope I haven't bored you too much. I'm trying to give you my impressions. You either like it or you don't.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
That's the way about Hammer is.
Always leave comments. We love hearing comments from you. Whether you think you want to find more about the minis, whether you want to hear me drone on more about stuff, whether you think we shouldn't do unboxings at all, that's fine, but we probably will still do them. I mean, if we just unbox them and look at them ourselves, we might as well film ourselves doing it and talking about it.
If we get sent stuff, we will do unboxings.
Yeah.
It's as simple
or
as
even
that.
if we buy stuff. But if you want us to do more unboxings, then we'll do it for every mini we buy. You know, I've got some new fucking sleeves, card sleeves, yay. But I don't know if you want us to do it, so let us know. I'm done.
That's it, yeah.
Don't forget to like and subscribe if you liked it and want to subscribe. If you don't like it, don't want to subscribe, don't like and subscribe. We really, really like it if you liked and subscribed. And as always, stay hammered.
Stay safe till next time.
I'm hammering. Oh, it's hammering in my head.